Hello everyone, Niev here, and we're on another episode. Is that what we call YouTube videos? Do we call them episodes? I don't know, but anyway, another episode of my study of the Ryuu Kado, and that's the Dragon God cards. And today we're doing card number 19 and card number 20. But first, before I get into this, I wanted to clip in my reading reels from Instagram for the last two cards that I completely forgot to put in my last video. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in now. It's going to be 2 minutes because I try to make these reels like a minute or less. So I'm going to cut that in now. It's going to be the reading reels for the last two cards. So there we go. Hi everyone, Niev here. Today we're going to read card number 17, and this is Ryuu. Kanjo to mukiau jiki. Zutto hashiri zuzukite kita anata. Kodo shiteiru wari ni wa motivation ga suzuka nakatari. Omoi yo ni susumazu iki sumatei tari shimasen ka? Mazu wa ugoki o tomete. Naze so shiteiru no ka? Shizuka ni jibun no kanjo to mukiaimashou. Yasumu koto de honto no kimochi ni kizuki. Rai shiten de monogoto ni torikumeru yo ni narimasu. Hi everyone, Niev here. Let's read card number 18, and this is Ryuu. Kansei shita monogoto ga shido suru toki. Motto skill o migaka nakereba. Motto chishiki o manaba nakereba nadoto. Omoteimasen ka? Anata wa kizuite inai dakere. Mo subete no junbi wa totonoteimasu. Ata wa imamade taku wa e tamono o kate ni ugoki dasu nomi. Fusoku kano idaku no dewa naku. Ima ga best to jikaku shite kodo suru koto de. Nozumu kekai to michibi te kuremasu. Okay, so hopefully that was fine. Yeah, and today I wanted to do cards 19, 20, and 21. And I have completed some of the art in the pages for card number 21. Let me grab my book here. Sorry, it's out of reach. And I'm starting this with a lot of sun coming in from a window here, and I don't think I mind that. I think I'm going to embrace that. But yeah, so there is cards, like I've done cards 19 and 20. Yes, and I have not yet done the... I've printed off the papers for 21, but, card number 21, but I haven't decorated it yet. And I was going to have cards 19, 20, and 21 in this video, but because I forgot about the reading reels from the last video, that's kind of adding time to this one. Plus, I haven't yet, as you can see, I haven't yet done 21. So I'm going to move that to the next video. And hopefully in the next video, I'll have 3 cards so I can catch up a little bit. All right. So with that out of the way, let's start off with card number 19 here. All right, move the other one out of the way. Grab my book here. Okay, so card number 19. This is Genru, and that basically means like origin or source dragon. Yeah, and I will put up on the screen the information for the Dragon God plus the message from the Dragon God. And if I remember, I will put in the reading reel at the end of this for this one. And then we have the translations here and body, food, item, and place. So the message here at the bottom, it means the future is promising. And it reads, Mirai wa yakusoku soreteiru. Yeah, there we go. So, Mirai wa yakusoku sareteiru. There we go. All right. So there we go. The card that I chose, I only chose one card to go with Genru here, and that was the Ten of Pentacles. I'm sorry if the sound is off here. I'm just reaching over to grab the card. So I chose the Ten of Pentacles, and I don't think I'm going to add another card to it because a lot of these I've, if I only chose one card to pair with the Dragon God, I leave space for potentially in the future adding another card. But this one, I felt like Ten of Pentacles just fit fine with this. I could have potentially also put the World connecting with this card. But yeah, there we go. So, because the meaning of this card seemed to very much be about the future and how promising the future is. Like, it's a very positive card, I think, in regards to its messaging here. That's why I chose the Ten of Pentacles, because the Ten of Pentacles for me is a card that's very much about legacy and what we're passing on, and it could be a negative thing. It could be I think about it in like generational trauma, because the Ten of Pentacles tends to be very positive, but if we're talking about it from a negative perspective, then yeah, we could talk about the things that are passed down to us, and that is how I read the Ten of Pentacles. It's very much a passing down kind of card, but it skews positive, and Genru also very much skews positive. Actually, I didn't read the little snippet for this. All right, so the little poem that's in the Mars Power Tarot for the Ten of Pentacles says, "Let every family sing in unison, and all the hearts of the community beat as one. When prosperity comes, none shall be left wanting." So yeah, I mean, obviously a very positive card, and I kind of call it my family tree card. And yeah, so the spread that I have for it, I only chose 2 cards, which is the only card, or the only Dragon God that I've only chosen 2 cards for the spread. And because I liked it being an infinity symbol, and the spread is the infinite spread. So now I got to try to figure out what the 2 positions mean, and it needs to be something where they can kind of play off each other. So it's where we're starting, where we're going, and I think honestly that is that's what I'm going to do for this. Where we're starting, where we're going. And it's something that can go back and forth. And that's the purpose of the spread. So let me pull out the rest of the Mars Power cards. I don't know that I'm going to do a full-on like reading the spread, but I think I'm just... I just bumped the camera. Sorry about that. I think I'm just going to kind of do what I normally do with pairing, which is, putting the 2 tarot cards beside an oracle card in the middle, because that's basically what this spread is. And just kind of looking at how this might look. And I'm just going to split it real quick, and we'll see how this looks. So it's like where we're starting, the 4 of Cups. And then the future is promising, where it's going. So where it started, where it's going. So 4 of Cups, it's where it's going, Ace of Swords. Interesting. Okay. And because I've had to add in the 2 reading reels from the last one, I'm gonna try to make this a little shorter. So I'm not interpreting every single reading, but I'm just kind of looking at how this might look, where it came from, where it started, where it's going, where it started, where it's going. Yeah. So where it started, Knight of Pentacles, like a caution, and where it's going, a 7 of Pentacles. So both of these cards are very much I could read this somewhat negatively in the sense that there's not a lot of movement going on. Where it started is like the slow progress. The Knight of Pentacles is very cautious. It doesn't rush into things. It's very methodical and slow moving. And then where it's going is a Seven of Pentacles, so which is also a sort of assessment sort of card, and it's stepping back and assessing situations. So I think I could possibly read this like, and it is generally positive, but yeah, you know, nothing negative is really happening, but I could read this as, yeah, a lot of things, positive things could happen, but there's not a lot of movement going on. So if you want any sort of change, something's got to happen. So that's how I might read that. And then a few more here. A Two of Wands with the King of Cups. I mean, that's pretty good. You know, where it started, where it's going. Two of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. That's a pretty positive one. Now, we could get into some difficult ones like Ten of Wands with the Hermit. So, and again, with Genru here, this is, in general, a positive. Where it started, where it's going. And the future is promising. So that's the overall sort of feeling here. Ten of Wands, there's taking a lot of burdens and a lot of things holding in our hands. But it's kind of going toward a needing time to be by oneself, needing time to sort of absorb that information. So yeah, there we go. And we got one more here. It's the Star and the Six of Cups. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that is how the Genru here is. And at this point, I am going to go ahead and clip in the reading reel of me reading the message from the Dragon God.
Hi everyone, Niev here. Today we're going to read card number 19, and this is Genru. Mirai wa yakusoku sareteiru. Arayuru koto o yarikite kita anata. Kore kara oki na henka ga otozuremasu. Saisho wa wakaranakutte mo yateiru uchi ni miete kuru kara daijoubu. Marude sekai ju o mikata ni tsuketa kano yona powerful sare. Ikiyoi yoku susumi tsuzukete iku desho. Anata wa sure ni sugoi mirai o te ni shiteiru no desu. Sono jikaku o mochimashou.
Okay, next up we have Unru, and this is the Cloud Dragon. All right, let me find the pages here. Unru, here we go. Okay, so I will go ahead and put on screen the information about the Dragon God and the message from the Dragon God. So there we go. And then the message here at the bottom says, so it's anatawa, that means you. Anatawa mimamo rare teiru. Okay, I just had to double check this, but I forgot to put the actual translation right there. I still have the translation from the last card here when I made this page. Let me see if I can focus so you can see what I'm talking about, because it says the future is promising, which is not what that means. That means the Japanese here means you are being watched. So obviously I made a bit of a typo there. I forgot to change I forgot to change the translation when I did the next card. So I'm gonna have to like white that out and write in what the actual translation is, but that is okay. It happens. All right, so so the meaning of this card is you are being watched, and which sounds ominous, doesn't it? But let me show what the cards I had picked out for this. So I had the Emperor and the Hierophant pulled out for this, and here we go, the Emperor and the Hierophant. All right, so the Emperor, the poem here for for the Mars power says, every object has its home under the scrutiny of the ruler. None shall be without stability beneath the transcendent eye. So, you know, talking a lot about the scrutiny of a ruler, or being kind of under one's eye. So, and then that's kind of why I chose the Emperor to be associated with Unru here. And then for the Hierophant, repetition legitimizes, and there is much knowledge to be gained from the rituals of old. Come as so many have before, and learn how to seek the truth. All right, so this one had a lot to do with, like, you know, the truth of a matter, legitimizing, you know, repetition. Like, there were a lot of keywords in this that pulled out for me in association with Unru here. So for this one, this is the spread that I've picked out for this, and of course I don't have yet the spread for it, like the positions, but this was kind of how I put this here, and it kind of felt like a cloud above one's head. That's kind of where I was going for, what I was going for with this. It was like a cloud over, a cloud that's watching over. Which I thought was an interesting position or interesting layout for the cloud dragon here. So let me see if I can figure out what these spread positions could mean. Okay, I've picked out as many cards with keywords on them that made sense to me for this, and they all seem to be blues because they're pretty much all from, there's light work, success, boundary was a lot of them, shadow work, there was only one card from that, boundary, success, and light work seemed to be where most of the cards came from, that made sense for this. So these were some of the keywords that I like for this. So I need to pick out 3. Now I kind of like the one shadow card that I pulled out, shadow work card, because repression, that keyword made sense for a card that represents you are being watched, you know. So in general, this is supposed to be kind of positive, but I feel like the you know, because this card is kind of talking about how you have support for what you want to do. But I feel like, you know, one negative card, the repression, might be something I want to keep in here. So I kind of want to keep this. So which brings me down to 2 cards. So guide made sense because this is about a guidance sort of energy, and we saw that with the Hierophant especially. And I feel like the repression card maybe is tapping into that Emperor energy, at least kind of on that negative side. So I liked guide, I liked repression. Navigate was pretty good. And truth or trust, both of these kind of made sense for these positions here. You know, now that compromise, I don't know why I brought that one in, but that's not, potential was also good. But I think I like trust, and I'm going to put, so universe was also good, but I think I like guide more. I think I am going to put all of these in because I think now I think I'm pretty happy with these 3. So I think we need to start off with the guide. So the guide is, you know, the guidance that we're getting, how we might feel repressed from that, or how we might have trouble taking that in, and then how we can trust that guidance. So I think that makes sense. I think this is good. I like this. Okay, so I've just grabbed the deck, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did with the last card, where I'm just kind of rapidly looking at some of these layouts with these positions, and I've kept the meaning of the card underneath here. So the 4 of Swords for guide, okay, the guidance that we're getting from this, it's kind of a guidance of rest. And the repression, we have the Lovers, which is generally a positive card or a card of partnership or coming together on things. But I feel like maybe for this particular reading, maybe we're feeling a bit bogged down by the opinions of others, or that because the Nine of Wands being trust is, you know, the Nine of Wands is a kind of a wounded warrior. That's kind of what I think of the Nine of Wands, and sort of not so much a fighting back, but getting back to things. So I think here, you know, the guidance is to have that sense of rest, but I think the repression may be that, you know, there may be others in our lives that are trying to get us to get out of this rut or whatever, and we may feel repressed by that. And I think the general advice here is to continue that rest. And like, you're not ready to have that partnership and move forward on something, and to continue that rest, because we have the Nine of Wands here as the trust part. You know, the Nine of Wands is, it gets up after being beaten down, you know. And I think the advice here, the guidance really is that this is fine. You know, like, you don't need to feel guilty about not living up to everyone's expectations right now, because right now what you need to do is rest so that you can come back and be what you need to be. So that's how I would read that, probably. Of course, dependent on the context of the reading. Really quick one here. Let's see. Knight of Swords is kind of the advice, because with this layout, we're kind of seeing the advice first, how we might like feel like we're getting blocked from that advice, or how we might I don't know. This, I feel like the repression card is, it would really depend on the context of the reading on how I might read that, but the repression card is a bit on where's that obstacle on following this advice, or how might we feel oppressed by this advice or something. And then the trust is, you know, and the High Priestess for trust. I mean, yeah, like we may not always know what's going to happen, but the Knight of Swords is a sort of just going in and doing it. It is a rushing in sort of energy, and there may be, you know, there may be things that might sting, you know. That's kind of how I might read an Ace of Swords. But the trust part is that, like, you know, it's an unknown sort of thing. It's like, trust your instincts. Like, you were right to go ahead and do this. You know, that's kind of where that's going to go. Okay, so then we have the advice or the guidance here is the Hermit, potentially doing things on our own, thinking deeply about something. And the repression means here with the Eight of Swords, we might feel like we're tied down to this, and tied down to this particular path. But then the Ten of Wands on the trust, that's interesting, because the Ten of Wands is kind of that burden, but like, I feel like we've got everything here, so we're moving forward with everything. That's kind of how I might look at the Ten of Wands in a positive sort of way. So we'll do one more here. Let's see. So guidance, Ace of Pentacles, grabbing opportunities, as seeing those opportunities and grabbing them. And that repression, like, we might feel that let's see, strength as the repression part, maybe that we're not strong enough, or that it's a lot to take on or something. And then death, I mean, death is a transition, you know, for the trust part, that taking on these opportunities might trigger a transformation going on, and that can absolutely be scary, and you know, you might feel like scared that you've got to have this strength to move to that next stage, but there we go. All right, so actually I think this turned out pretty good, and I kind of like doing this versus what I was doing in the previous videos, where I was doing one spread, you know, and kind of intensely reading that spread in a general way, because there's no context, of course, but or as a general reading. But I did kind of enjoy what I was doing these last two cards here, where I was just kind of rapidly coming up with something based on the spread here. So anyway, that is everything. So I'm going to insert right now the video of the reading reel of me reading the message from Unru.
Hi everyone, Neve here. Let's read card number 20, and this is Unru. Anata wa mimamorarete iru. Fuan de tachidomari so ni natari. Dare mo mikata ni nate kurenai to omoteiru anata. Anata o mimamoru sonzai wa kanarazu imasu. Dakara, anshin shite kawagarazu ni susunde yoke. Moshi umakui kanai koto ga aru nara. Hitotsu no koto ni korawarazu. Chigau yarikata mo tame shite mimashou. Soko ni umaku iku kotae ga aru kamoshiremasen.
All right, so that is everything for Genru and Unru. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next month. Bye!